Thursday night. You got some news for the evening. Got something that's uh been taking over the internet for the past how long has this been up? About
What a
5 hours or so.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, so it's an update to the whole coronavirus
Coronavirus.
crisis. For that, Randy, you want to say anything before we get it started?
Nah, man. Let's just go ahead and get started.
You already know who I am, Corey. So yeah, we'll get into it already. So the our good friends at the UN's World Health Organization has declared a global health emergency.
And for those who don't know what the UN is, the United Nations.
United Nations. So it's who World Health Emergency. So get into it. This article is by the BBC. Take that down. All right. This article by the BBC. The new coronavirus has been declared a global health emergency by the World Health Organization as the outbreak continues to spread outside China. The main reason for this declaration is not what is happening in China, but what is happening in other countries. The World Health Organization chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, that guy right there, I think he was in a scandal
He looked
uh,
familiar.
couple years ago. Yeah, this guy right here
Yeah.
uh, was still using the money that was getting siphoned out of the taxpayers worldwide. Was using it for personal gain, personal
Hey, do me a favor, Corey. Bring that screen to the right some.
to the right,
Yeah.
like that. Oh, you talking about
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing that you got up. Yeah, there you go. Boom. There you go.
right there?
Yeah, we good.
Okay, okay. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. There we go. All right. No, yeah. So yeah, he was using the funds for his own
On
personal
gains. Personal gains.
leisure, not just leisure. You know what I'm saying? Just wasting money. Like I said, there's tax dollars. So the concern is that it could spread to countries with weaker health systems. Uh, it's been confirmed. They say at least 213 people have died from the virus in China. So there have been 98 cases in 18 other countries, but no deaths. No deaths. Most cases have emerged in people who have traveled from the Chinese. Most cases have emerged in people who have traveled from the Chinese city of Wuhan, where the outbreak
Started
uh,
originated.
began. However, there have been 8 cases of human to human infection in Germany, Japan, Vietnam, and the United States.
You said eight
Speaking of,
cases?
huh?
You said 8 cases? That jumped quick.
Yeah, yeah, eight
From
cases.
from human to human? Oh my goodness. All right, my bad, man.
Speaking at a news conference in Geneva, Dr. Tedros described the virus as an unprecedented outbreak that has been met with an unprecedented response. A little bit more. We won't get into more. Okay. So yeah, so there you go. There's a little couple numbers right there. 59 was the average age of those infected. 89% were not hospitalized until at least 5 days of illness, and 56% of the cases were men. 55% of cases before the 1st of January were linked to the seafood market.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things you can take from that. 59, typically older men. Immune system starts is not as you're not as spry as you were. Spry, using white folks' words. I'm not as spry as you were when you were a youth. It could be that
or
89%, like not waiting 5 days until. So most, yeah, pretty much everybody, outside of the 11%. waited for a while. Like I said, this is the coronavirus has been around for a long time. Things even such as the common cold. See, I'm just learning about these different things. I didn't know they were called the coronavirus, but things even though like the common cold can fall under that category. They say what we're seeing now is more SARS, along the lines of SARS, which is made its debut in 2003. 2003. Hold on, man. It's knocking on the goddamn door.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, no, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You
gotta
good.
feel it.
You
These
good.
niggas can wait, man. So, now the virus. Hey, man. Excuse me, y'all. So yeah, man. Damn, I'm gonna throw my damn.
You said the virus.
No, so yeah, no, it's basically it falls under the common cold falls under it, and then also SARS, the MERS virus, all type of different things. But yeah, this has been said to be a strain of SARS, respiratory
Infection.
mess with the respiratory
Yeah,
system.
respiratory
So
infection.
yeah, so yeah, man. Said it's spreading. It's spreading a lot in China. For it to do all that, it's making a big spread. Let alone everywhere else. It's not a lot. Throughout the world, like says the people who have touched down in Wuhan, but
Mm-hmm.
and this is all just allegedly. This is all alleged. It's all we're getting is stuff from the news. You can take it how you wanna. You saw our video the other day where we gave you
A little
gave you a
synopsis.
history. Gave you a history of the experimentation. Done things like drop sickness, literally drop sickness on here in America, on citizens here in America. Go visit that video if you want that information. Again, we went into detail. What you think, man? What you think?
Honestly,
You think we in for a worldwide breakout, man?
I mean,
Is it what they say it is?
if you think about it, we had we had swine flu, we had what's the shit that the mosquitoes was spreading? I forgot.
Ebola or malaria.
Malaria, we had that, and that was like what 16, 18. No, that was 16, 13, 2003. So I mean, like it kind of is happening in patterns, honestly. If I wish I kept I wish I had kept the screenshot, and I would have showed it to y'all. But it was pretty much all of the sicknesses that were like I guess you would say significant at that time, and that had people scared. And it was like at the end of it, whatever, it was like, doesn't this seem like a pattern to you? And then it was like the newest one. So it's just like, I mean, because I mean, they're trying. I know there are the anti-vaxxers, but then they're trying to push people to vaccinate their kids and stuff like get vaccinated. So it's covering a wide realm of things, pretty much. Even though I don't, I don't really know how to say it because it's just a bunch of just things that you would have to be paying attention to, if that makes sense to y'all.
Well, it's not. It's stuff like this really ain't the only thing you really got to pay attention to in situations like this, because like I said, and this is by the UN. I've talked about the UN, just so many damn times, man. It's they do have its constitution violating, so basically violates your rights. We know how to, they are all in pocket with the Federal Reserve, man. So I'm not saying this is what it is, but it could very easily just be tax. Another reason that thing is on autopilot its damn self. So they'll put tax laws and different things while we're asleep. We don't even have any say so on things like that. Um, but what you look for in these things is when they start trying to implement control. That's what they got going on right now. We talked about it last couple of days ago when we spoke on the coronavirus and talked about how China, how they got the way their government is basically a dictatorship over there. And when you they've locked down. They put that type of control, the type of things that here in America, definitely wouldn't. Well, a lot of people, I think, just out of fear or jump into it. But for the most part, there's a lot of people that are just not going to stand for it. It's not going to stand for it. They're putting checkpoints everywhere. That's always a bad sign. Putting checkpoints on the road, airports, just everything. Administering vaccines. Shit, man.
Hold on,
how many times?
You keep going. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Now, it's administering vaccines. How many times have we seen this over and over again? I mean, even with the just go through the history. Just go through the history that we gave you last time. It's documented. The government always has a documented history of vaccinating people. People coming out. Like the what was that? I think it was what was that in Africa? Forget it. It's way back when. But they basically they were giving vaccines and it led to polio. Get exactly what the vaccine. Y'all know what that is. Type it in the comment section. But you got that. I think with the first H1N1 virus, they were actually still giving out vaccinations long after it was declared being gone. You know what I'm saying? After the scare was, and that whole thing within itself was blown up. So now what you gotta just gotta maintain awareness in situations like this. I'm not saying don't get vaccinated. You got to do what you do. You got to do what's safe for you and your family, but understand, you can't impede on human rights, and this is where it becomes a problem. This is where it becomes a problem. If we sit there and say, we're implementing laws that'll force you to be subjected to, being vaccinated, or you can't get this, you can't come here, or, basically trying to block you off because, you haven't met their criteria. Right. That's against human rights. If a person wants to be vaccinated, then let them be vaccinated. Now, this could be an ignorant statement. You tell me if there's a flaw. Anybody tell me that there's a flaw in this? The motherfucker can sit there and get, if he get vaccinated, then you probably shouldn't have to worry about if I catch it, if you good. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So you got people who will give in and buy into the, whether it's propaganda or not. Like I said, it's all you getting it from the news. The news can't never be they're bought out and they're not to be trusted. We talk about big pharma and things like that. That's what the World Health Organization is. They're big pharma. It's completely you can't violate human rights. But like I said, y'all got to be able to see it within that. Look up Agenda 21. You know what I'm saying, and all its plans that the United Nations has. It's good on the surface. All of it looks good on the surface. It's reasonable, but like I said, once you start forcing people to do certain things against their will, that's not a free country. And like I said, a government, they basically have a plan on giving you everything. And a government that gives you everything has the power to give you everything. And has the power to take everything also. Mm-hmm. Just like I said, shit, we basically giving over 99% of everything already. Guns being the last thing, and even then they still infringed. But I won't even get into that all that today. I talk about that, you know what I'm saying? Every damn show. Uh, yeah, man. What's up?
So yeah, my whole thing is, so could this be used, conspiracy theory thought process, could this be used as a ploy to get everybody let's just say to get everybody to get the shots?
You don't know. You don't know. Anything could be anything. It's anything, you know what I'm saying? You can't have a definitive answer for everything because like we said, the government has had their hand caught in the cookie jar countless times throughout history. So there's no reason to ever trust them. But you do things, but you know, they will have vaccinations. They'll have these things like that. And I don't know if you heard me. Like I said, they've done this. They've done it to where, like I said, I think it was the H1N1. And I was trying to tell them, I forgot what the one back then was. The one that was they gave it. Was it smallpox? I think it might have been.
You talk about when they gave it to the Indians?
Nah, that was all across Africa. All across Africa, they were giving those vaccines, but they were causing polio.
Yeah, because that's what those shots. That's what those shots are. Those shots are literally the virus, but it's just like a small amount of the virus where your body can learn to fight it off. That's pretty much what's all in those shots.
Yeah.
But everybody's immune system.
Like I said, you can get these shots, man. You can get these shots. You can get them. Do what you want to do to protect your family. Like I said, but to to force people who don't want that, you all you're doing is subject us to anything possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard somebody, saying like, y'all against this, but you go get, McDonald's burger or something like that. Go to KFC or get the Popeyes chicken, but people do that at their own discretion.
Yeah,
you're gonna have influence. You're gonna have the commercials and everything, all type of advertising rolling out. But people it's up to the person at the end of the day to decide to get up and spend that gas money to ride down and go try that chicken sandwich or get that burger that they want. So it's kind of like what Obama did with the Obamacare thing, giving you a penalty because you don't have health insurance. Like, who does something like who does shit like that? That's like that, that's not respecting each other as human beings. I'm saying they're doing stuff like this in China. Once it hits global emergency, like they said now that opens the door. Now start having international talks and see what steps will be taken. And like I said, if they start going down that route, shit, man, people need to be
having their ears and eyes wide open.
People need to be ready to fight for their rights, man. Fight for their freedom, man. Because like I said, that's infringement right there, man.
I was gonna say, did you by any chance talk about the Lysol thing? Or did you?
Nah. Well, yeah, I see you talking about.
I was gonna say, I got like some audio if you want that. I can play that real quick.
They got the coronavirus. Yeah, go ahead, play.
I'll have the link in the description below for everybody. So I mean, yeah, U.S. has been known about it. I'm pretty sure China has been known about it.
Oh no,
And
the coronavirus is old. It's already known. You know what I'm saying? This is just it's different strains of coronavirus. It's
yeah,
been around. It's been identified since the '60s. It's been it's been identified from that far back. That's what I'm like, damn. But they talk about it. They talk about it as if
like
it's
as
new
if it's new.
coronavirus.
Yeah,
They're not being direct about it's SARS, MERS, anything. They're not being direct. It's just coronavirus.
yeah.
That leaves it just broad. It's a respiratory. It is something that can fuck you
yeah,
up.
upper
Just
respiratory.
like give you pneumonia and things like that. It's respiratory disease. What it's doing, like I said, it's older people that are passing away to it. Just like it's when you hit that age like 59, things like that, getting things like pneumonia, shit, that can be that can be fatal, man. That can be fatal that easy. Like I said, it's not. You don't see a lot of the average age being 59. It lets you know it's an older audience who are falling victim to it. But it's something like pneumonia, got those the cold-like symptoms, things like that. Just respiratory disease.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, 213. It is spreading at a noticeable rate. Much more than what the original SARS virus was. I think that was only reached about 773 worldwide, I believe. So it wasn't a lot, man. But yeah, this one, what you talking about? 10,000 just in China alone. What they got? They got like 1 billion people or something like that.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. There's a lot of
it's a
people in
few.
China.
It's a few billion. It was like it's probably close to a billion. It's probably like 900 million or something like that. I don't know.
I gotta look into that.
It's some crazy number.
If you watch it, type in the comment section. Tell us how many people are exactly in China. We're just kind of winging everything right now, but like I said, everything we say does have can be backed up. There is history, even though we may be just a tad bit off. We're just trying to give you the gist of everything. But like I said, the ultimate thing is when you start forcing. They can say whatever they want to say in the news. They can talk about this is coming or whatnot. It's up to you it's up to the recipient to how you want to receive this. You got to do your own homework. You got to take all of the information that you gathered, information that I've given you, everything that you know and that you learned, and you got to make that decision whether you want to buy into it, whether they start offering these shots and different things, just like the vaccines that they have now for the flu, for the influenza. Whether you want to whether you want to buy into them, whether you want to get a shot. I'm not telling you I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm as far as my message, me personally, no, I'm not doing any vaccines. I try to stay away from medicine, just all in general. These over-the-counter products, man, kill more people than anything, man.
That's
like
true.
they kill more people than anything. Just look at the amount of people who have just died just from pharmaceuticals, normal pharmaceuticals, just in general, man, just over the past century or so. It's ridiculous. So do it at your own discretion. But once you start, like I said, implementing, like I said, I'm saying one more time, implementing force. Putting it in the law and things like that, man. That's like war, man. You
Yeah.
can't force nobody to do no shit like that.
Here
That's
comes
how
martial law.
that leaves the people powerless. And basically, for my Bible, people who pay attention to the Bible says trust no man. So you don't trust nobody. You got Jim Jones. Remember Jonestown?
Mm-hmm.
Remember Jonestown? He was just a small version of how people can really be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because a person's running the world doesn't mean they're more moral than anybody, than the next person, just because they all a part of this small little oligarch. Uh, doesn't mean that they're the moral base for the human race. You know what I'm saying? These are just motherfuckers with money, people that are running the money system. So they control how everything ebbs and flows, just like that. And you got people who are controlled. They can control every single aspect, and they can slip this in here and tell you this is what you need. They start forcing you to do that. You're basically at their mercy. They
Yeah.
basically you live and die. They become your god when it gets to that level. That's all
Yeah,
I
that's
got.
right.
That's all I got on this. I just wanted to update. Like I said, Ren, is the World Health Organization was, like I said, uh World Health Organization actually has funded a lot of the human experiments that have gone on. They've actually funded this shit. So as long as you have that information and understand that, you'll be all right. And you go from there. Well, other than that, man, that's all I got, man. Just an update.
All right, man. So pretty much before we bounce out of here, I just want to let everybody know to make sure you guys like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, to point them to the Three Pyramids Network, and also, man, links in the description below for Grit Sports Media, Lojo Speaks, Word on the Ave page, and everything else that we have. With all that being said, this is your boy Randy Anderson with Corey Gilmore, and we're out, man. Peace.